Welcome to Builder Buzz by Home Nation, where we bring in builders, developers, and everyday investors to talk about one of America's biggest opportunities, affordable housing. We'll talk about real costs, explosive growth, big mistakes, and tough lessons you won't learn anywhere else. Whether you're building homes, buying land, or just building big ideas, this podcast is for you.
Hello, everyone. Today, my guests are Cliff and Kody from Forefront Simulator Solutions. They're in the Georgia area, but they service up to Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, the Southeast, and they do golf simulators. And with an idea to expand into more sort of technology, augmented reality simulation systems that you can install in your basement, in your garage, upstairs, in your living room, wherever you've got room for these. It's really just computers and components. They're able to put that together into a really fantastic real life simulation for a sport or some different games. So tune into this. We're going to learn a lot on being on the forefront of modern gaming simulation. Just to get us started, so here with Cliff and Kody, can you let us know the two different companies that you represent and then just give us an idea of how you guys work together?
You want to start with the basement side?
Yeah. So my name is Kody Smith, one of the owners of Forefront, and I also own New Edge Renovation, where we do custom and luxury basements. We were doing golf sims, and then I did Cliff's basement, and we decided to start a golf simulator business because Cliff is wildly intelligent when it comes to technology and that side of the business.
And the simulator business, like Kody said, it started from me doing my basement, putting a simulator in my basement. And Kody did such a good job. His design ideas were so awesome. Honestly, I was just trying to help him out and say, like, man, there's something to this golf simulator thing. You should market it separately, go after it separately. That's where Forefront was created. We had a leg up because of his construction background, his design background. And then Forefront was created. We did a couple projects together. One thing led to another and just started to snowball. Before the golf simulator company was kind of born from that.
So Forefront Simulator Solutions, golf simulators. So what were you doing before that, Cliff?
Yeah, so I had a 20-year career in corporate. I actually worked for Home Depot for about 8 years. The rest of the 20 years was in different types of consulting, so data and analytics and technology consulting. So a wild shift.
I get the intelligent comment there, Kody. Makes sense.
I was leading like AI go-to-market for companies like Coke and Delta and IHG in Atlanta. So huge shift, obviously, but
very.
It actually really perfectly aligns with my passion areas. I'm a huge golfer. I love technology and I love home improvement. So like the golf simulator business is like at the epicenter of those three things together. It's just like perfect. So I quit my corporate job about 3 months ago now. So we've been in business for about a year, and I've been on 3 months, and I hope I never look back to the corporate world because it's just so much fun.
Really, man, that's awesome. What are some of the biggest differences you found?
It's funny. I so wildly different. In my old world, I was booked in 30-minute increments from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. all day, every day, 5 weeks out. Like if you wanted time on my calendar, you had to look 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. My calendar is wide open in this new world, but every day's frenetic and hectic and busy. Like I'm like, oh great, I've got all this time on Tuesday to go knock all this stuff out. And then I look back at 6 p.m. and like I didn't accomplish the things I thought I was gonna do. So I'd say every day is so different. I'm not on Zoom calls all day, which is nice. And then just honestly, the lack of corporate bureaucracy is huge, right? Like Kody and I talk about something, we want to do it, we go do it if it makes sense, and we're the decision makers. I don't have
it's nice.
HR and legal and all these layers to get things approved. The level of autonomy and decision making is massive.
Yeah, that's really awesome. But that's so cool, man. Congratulations for being able to quit your job and do full time what you're passionate about. It's just so much more fun when you're passionate about something. It doesn't feel like work, and it's like that. You look at the clock, 6 p.m. You're like, oh man, I gotta go home, or I gotta get back to my family. So that's man, just really interesting transitioning the day-to-day structure. Would you say it's a good thing that you get to 6 p.m. and you're like, I didn't get the stuff I wanted to get done today?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, right? Like I think a lot of my focus in the company is sort of the back office, right? I'm working on setting up our systems and processes and structure. So sometimes I don't get to those things, but I always got to be doing what's most important for the company, right? So sometimes that's going to a customer's house and making sure things are going well, or fixing something that didn't go well, right? Like,
Hmm.
so I've got to be doing some of those things to make sure we're keeping up the way we want to keep up.
Hmm.
Um, in some ways, it's a good thing. Some ways, it's a bad thing, to be honest. But that's, in a new company, I think one of the things we've been good at is finding the things that take up most of our time and hiring to backfill that, right? Like,
Yeah.
in the beginning, sales was probably 80% of my effort. We hired
Yeah.
an amazing sales guy. He's killing it. That took that off my plate.
Nice.
Now, then it's the technology stuff, right? We install these things in customers' homes. There's a technology aspect. They need help. We've got a guy that we hired that's helping us do that. So it's in some ways it's a bad thing, but the bad things I figure out what they are and then I hire people.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, the outcome is well worth it because you're like, okay, I need to stop spending my time doing this every day.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you need to spend your time doing?
And me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a broad range of things, but like getting our marketing collateral where it needs to be, getting
Hmm.
our website, our search engine optimization where it needs to be, so we have the right number of customers coming in through our
Hmm.
funnel. Right now, I'm working on standing up a ERP, so inventory management and financials. We're working with NetSuite on that. So I need to be doing some things like that.
Yeah.
But customer challenges are always going to rise to the top, right? We've got customers who have to be happy, or we're not going to be a successful business. So
Hmm.
those are the things I need to be working on, but I'm always going to place customers ahead of those.
Yeah. Yeah. For for better or for worse, like sometimes those urgent things take place over the important things, and it's just an urgent thing. So coming from corporate, seeing the business structure there, all these different layers of authority to make decisions and what have you, the day to day schedule, just how the business is designed and built, has that had an impact? Because you sound very calculated. You sound very specific with here's what we're
Man,
doing, here's how I'm
you're
building things. Yeah, has
insightful.
has that had an impact on how you built Forefront?
I think it has. I'm that way. Like, and data and analytics was my career. So like analytical, numbers driven. You got to test a hypothesis and prove it, right? Like,
Hmm.
I know I have a tendency to want to have the perfect answer. And so it's something I've known about myself for a long time. So I have to push myself to say, if we have 60 or 70% of the answer, let's make the decision and go for it.
Hmm.
And I think that becomes
Yeah.
more of a challenge and more apparent in a small business that's only a year in,
Yep.
right? In my old world, right, we had HR systems and financial systems and crazy detailed financial reporting. We knew to the
Mm.
penny where every dollar was, right? Like,
Yeah.
in a small business, you're going to have to make decisions based off of less information.
Yeah.
100% that shows up. But I know that about myself. And Cody's lived this world for such a long time that he's used to that. So I think we help balance each other in that
Yeah.
way, where I want the 100% answer. And sometimes you just got to say, is this the right thing to do? Do we think it's right?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the cool part, him coming from corporate, I've never worked a corporate job a day in my life. Being able to blend what is good about a
Hmm.
corporate job
Hmm.
and meshing that with entrepreneurship has
Yes.
been really cool collaboration. It's been neat to see, obviously, all the things you didn't like about it. So it was easy to get rid of those. But the things that did work well in a corporate environment, blending that with the entrepreneurial world and really just creating a super solid, tight company culture. That's what we're
Mm.
really geared towards. So
Yeah.
it's been extremely helpful in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, I think you pointed it out, but like I say a lot of times, like sometimes you learn what you don't want to do, or sometimes you learn the wrong way to do it. And then that's the learning experience too, right? So
Yes,
I think,
absolutely.
like Cody said, I've picked up a lot of good things from corporate, but I've also picked up a lot of things I would never want to do.
Oh yeah. No, that I love that. So, well, I like the company culture, and we'll get to that because I'd love to hear more about it because that's just so important, especially in a small business. I mean, especially in a big business, but it can be harder
Yeah.
to retain that. But like the bias toward action. So I think that's a phrase that Amazon has as one of their core values is a bias toward action, and most decisions are reversible. So just make the decision.
Yep.
Indecision is you're just incapacitated if you
Yep.
don't make a decision. That's
Yep.
worse in most cases than simply making a decision because maybe you make the wrong decision, but you learn from that, reverse it, and you move forward. But then there's
Yep.
also the calculated side where it's like, well, if we make this decision, like that's going to hurt us. That's a harder one. That's a harder ship to turn around than this other
Yep.
decision. So that balance is so imperative.
Yeah, you got to know the difference, right? Like this ERP decision we just made,
Hmm.
that's a very big decision. It's a multi-year contract. There's a lot of dollars on the line. It's
Hmm.
important to our business. So we took a very long time and we're very deliberate about making that decision. We talked to a lot of people, right? So knowing the difference between the decisions that you can make that are reversible versus the ones that aren't, I think that's huge. That's super
Yeah.
important. You made me
Yeah.
think of a boss I had at Home Depot, one of my favorite bosses ever. One day in her office, she was just like, Cliff, you're smart, make a decision,
Yeah.
run with it. If it's the wrong decision, we'll learn about it as fast as we can and we'll fix it. Right. Like
That's great.
it's a super important lesson I learned in my career. And it's, if you analyze it to death, you're just going to be paralyzed and never
Yeah.
make a decision and never make progress.
So
It's also like we're
Mhm.
applying that principle. One of the most important things, in order to scale at the rate that we're trying to scale, we have to bring on a lot of people. So we're
Hmm.
applying that like call to action with hiring, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, hire fast, like to
Yeah.
the point where we're now new people that we bring on, they're on like a 2 week like trial period instead
Yeah.
of like just spending months trying to vet the right person, and like we're
Mm.
just like, hey, come on, let's go see if we're a good fit. If not, here's your 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and
I mean, if you can on ramp someone that quickly, then that makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
If those
But
are
if
the
you just
positions.
like for me in my other business, I can't do that as much because I'm looking for like just few people at a time, like, 3 people every year that we're adding to the team. So
Yeah.
it's like I can select and take more time. Here, we're trying to build something really big. So it's like, hey,
Mm.
if you're good, you're a good fit, we'll train you up. If not,
Mhm.
like, hey, at least we tried, but we're not going to spend months trying to make a decision about it.
So when you're finding if someone's a good fit for you, are you looking at a culture fit or a technical skill set fit?
It's
Both.
both. It's both. I'd say culture is probably more important for us because we can train the technical side, right? Like there's aspects of what we do that's highly technical, but there's a lot of just general basic skills that we need.
Mhm.
So you can use a skill saw and a drill and a
Yeah.
nail gun and a stud finder.
Yeah.
Probably a good technical fit for an early, more junior type person.
Mhm.
But being professional in a customer's home, attention to detail, you're spending a lot of time with these guys, in a work environment. Like we need to have a good cultural fit. So to me, the cultural side is probably more important than the technical because we can always train.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple things. What is it? I'm gonna write it down here. Um, my father, so he owns Home Nation, right? And I kind of run things. And there are a couple things that he says he hires for. I think it's like three or four things. You need to be nice, you need to have integrity, you need to have intelligence, and you need to
Yep.
be motivated. Because he's like,
Yep.
I cannot do the other stuff. Like
Yeah.
the core values that you need to have as a person. And if you don't have those values, nothing else really matters. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people that I need everything else like expands outside of that.
Yeah. I like that. I might have to steal some of that. That's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I can't make you motivated, right? Like, but
Hmm.
if you're motivated, I can teach you things. You can learn.
Hmm.
So those are all, and again, without integrity, none of it matters because you're
Yeah.
stealing from and lying
Yeah.
and all sorts.
Yeah. And I want people who are intelligent, just like your boss came and said, Cliff, you're smart, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I want people, and then I want people who are nice because that company culture is so important. Don't want to, if you're the best person for the job, but you're a total jerk, like I don't want to deal with that. And I don't feel like I
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I
I
love
feel like I can find someone. So you have a ton of job postings from what I could tell on the website. How do you maintain some of that culture? Because you're bringing that in. You are either elevating or bringing down your culture with each hire that you make. And how do you
So
maintain that?
we really have our like, I guess we'll call them like our core four that we originally hired, like,
Hmm.
and poured into them this standard. And so
Good.
now the new people during their 2 week trial period have to be with those guys.
Yeah.
And then those guys are the ones maintaining and upholding our standards that we've set within the
Hmm.
company culture. And they have in the past, they've immediately like, hey, I don't think this person's going to be a good fit. Like they didn't carry themselves like a
Yeah.
certain way with the client, or like even when they went out to lunch, they was like, they just did some things that we were like questioning. So it
Yeah.
goes beyond if they're just skill set is there. It's more like, hey, are they upholding our values that we've put in place?
And I think I can't remember if it was like Zuckerberg or Musk that said like, I don't hire B talent because then when my B talent progresses, they start to hire C talent. That C talent hires D. It's like this
Yeah.
cascading effect.
That's good.
Especially the early folks that are core to our construction crews and our team. They've got to be A talent. They've got to have all those meet all those standards because
Yeah.
they're going to be ones hiring the next tier of people that come in. And if they're Bs, they're going to hire Cs. Cs are going to hire Ds. So
Yeah.
it's important, especially in this core group, to get really solid talent, have a really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. That's a great point. And it's totally true. So choose Forefront Simulator Solutions, right? You're doing these in-house golfing simulations, but you come from really big business, Cliff. And then Kody, you come from that entrepreneurial, like we're just going after it. We're renovating basements. We're making decisions. Oh man, bad decision, fix it, go on. As you're building this business together, like a couple questions. Do you decide to focus on renovating basements because it's like that's really where progress is at? Do you focus on the simulations because that's where it's at? And then you come, Cliff, from that big business background, and it sounds like you want to grow something big and you want to grow it rapidly. There's only so, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be only so much runway with golf simulators versus general construction, like being a general contractor. So, is there a turning point in your future for that? Have you thought about that? Like, what is the future? And I know it's like a year in, right? But what's the future for Forefront?
No, I mean, it's a good question. And we have ideas, we have thoughts on that. And Kody alluded earlier to the fact that we are planning massive scale, right? So our plan this year is to do 100 projects. We're right
Wow,
on pace for that.
that's awesome,
And
man.
that's our first year, right? So
Awesome.
100 projects year one. That requires a good Q3 and good Q4, but we're on track.
We're tracking.
We're tracking.
Yeah.
this.
That's cool.
And next year the plan is to quadruple that, and the year after is to double, triple, or quadruple it. 100, 400, call it
Yeah.
2,000
Yeah.
in year three. I think that there's a couple of things there. So I think we're confident we know we're going to hit the 100 in Atlanta this year. Next year with the 400, I think it's going to require some geographic expansion as
Yeah.
well as product line expansion. So golf is the starting point, right? Golf is certainly huge. Simulators are taking off in the golf space. There's a whole lot of other stuff in this technology space. So the future of the company is actually to bring fun, active, technology-driven experiences into people's homes and businesses, right? So that could be, and we're already doing some of these now. They're called multi-sport simulators, where you can bowl in your basement, you can throw frisbees in your basement, you can soccer balls in your basement. I have just put a laser shooting simulator in my basement where my kids can shoot zombies and shoot bad guys in Western movies, right? There's more high-end, like tactical shooting training that you can put into people's basements. Flight simulators, racing simulators.
Yeah.
Pickleball and tennis simulators and baseball simulators. So like the whole world of just bringing technology into people's homes.
Yep.
I think to us, we want to keep kind of the general construction side separate, because to us, the bringing these technologies to people's homes is what differentiates us. It's a differentiated experience. And I think that's where people are going to go, right? The old movie rooms of the past, the old basements with the pool table that nobody ever uses. Like, people are going to want to bring these fun experiences. And I don't even know where augmented reality and virtual reality are, where it's just going to be part of people's homes. So that's where we're really trying to go.
I see.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does. Now, so how do you keep a customer from being pigeonholed in, I made this simulator thing and it was a hobby for a time, now it's not, and now I need to redo everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we try to think about future-proofing people's projects as much as we can. So, we'll run Conduit or Smurf Tube in places. Yeah, but it's all just computers and components. So the cool part about all this stuff is it's very modular. So when we come in and put a golf simulator in, there's a computer, there's something called a launch monitor that watches the ball and sends the data to the computer, and then there's a projector, right? Like, those are all modular, right? If the launch monitor, if that technology progresses over the next 5 years, we can just come swap that out. It's the same cable that runs the computer, no big deal. When we install a multi-sport simulator, similar, right? That runs off the same computer. We load different software. We install a different piece of hardware up on the ceiling, uses the same projector. So we design them in a way that they're very modular, so that if technology progresses, we can swap things out. or if they want to add something, it's super easy to add it, and we try to future proof it in a way that adapt that into the future as the technology changes.
Yeah.
And if worse comes to worse and they're just like, hey, we don't use the golf sim anymore, then we have a standard for our builds so that they are aesthetically pleasing. So if worse comes to worse and they don't want the simulation anymore, just watch movies and football and whatever you want.
Turns into an awesome movie room.
Yeah, turns into a movie room. So it really, and really, we're still very much on the front end of this whole simulation wave, even with golf. Because
Sounds like it.
they just now crested the point to where they're really starting to be affordable for your average consumer.
Mm.
In the prior, like past 5 years or so, they've just been so wildly expensive.
Yeah.
That it just, your professional athletes and millionaires were the only ones that could afford them. But now they have such a slew of launch monitors from all different types of price range and budgets. So they're really getting to the point now where anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Now we're not in that. You're gonna have your DIYers just like with any construction or anything in the world, but we're there for the average consumer too, as much as we do a lot of high end stuff as well. But so it's just at the beginning of this wave.
That's really cool. So speaking generally then, what did they used to cost and what nowadays might a typical system go for?
I mean, they used to start, like, the technology started at 100 grand. Like, just to have the tech was 100 grand, and let alone all the build costs.
Yeah,
You were probably looking, back in the day, you were looking at the 100 to probably the 150 to $300,000 range to get something good.
Wow.
And we actually, one of our second or third client was an ex NBA player, and we pulled out a system that he put in, and he spent in the mid six figures, probably 150, $150,000.
That's crazy.
We fully replaced it, including construction, for like 50.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
it was better, right?
Way
It was much improved from what he originally
Wow.
had. So the cost has just come down so much.
Wow.
So our average build price is in the $40,000 to $50,000 range, and that is all the technology, all the construction, turnkey.
Yeah.
You literally show up with clubs and balls, and you're playing golf.
Pretty cool.
We have levers to go way up and way down from there.
Yes.
But you're at the average. You can put a really nice simulator in for $40,000 to $50,000, including all the construction.
So are a lot of your customers like they're luxury homes or just what?
Yeah, I mean, our first project was a $25,000 simulator in probably, what was that house, $300,000 or $400,000?
Or something like that.
Yeah, probably a $400,000 house, and we put a simulator in. That was our first
Oh, wow.
client. So, we range from $400,000 houses to $10 million houses. So it's a range. I'd say the majority are kind of in the middle, right? And they're probably those $800,000 to $3 million houses.
Yeah.
Not that, but it's not.
Yeah.
You're probably $800,000 to $1.5 million house is probably our sweet spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the range is huge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead, Kody.
No. Piggybacking off of that. Nothing important.
There, it's interesting. I just podcast with a gentleman. He owns the company Protect X, right? And the idea is protection from construction, debris, and damage, and what have you, while you're working in a home. And it really focuses, as he's here, right? He really focuses on luxury yachts and luxury homes because that's mostly where that matters. When you're going into someone's house and you're traveling through their house, and then you're getting to the job site, it might be, for you, it's literally in the basement. So you go through the front door, go through the living room, find the stairs, go down, and whatever. And so that and it sounds like you would have some measure of that, I would imagine, because when you're renovating in particular, you're carrying out studs and drywall and all that. So you'd have to have some measure of protection, especially in these really nice homes.
Yeah, certainly. A lot of times we get in through the basement, so it's a little easier that way. So a lot of these are exterior basements. We do a lot of garages. So a lot of basements don't have 10-foot ceilings, and a lot of garages have 12 to 14-foot ceilings.
Oh, and that's what you need?
Yeah, you more. 9 is very doable, but 10 or more. So yeah, we get exterior basements a lot. We get into garages a lot, but sometimes we
did a 3rd-story townhome.
Yep.
That was
guys trying to carry sheets of plywood up through a tiny stairwell, and so we do have situations where we've got to protect the house. So yeah, that's a huge. We certainly can't put a simulator in somebody's basement or somebody's attic and destroy the rest of their house. So that's certainly an aspect of what we have to do, and cleaning up afterwards and all that kind of stuff, part of the overall experience for sure. But that
Yeah,
sounds like a
so
cool.
no, it is a first to market sort of company. What he's
Yes.
doing as far as a product, it's pretty interesting. He's a nice guy. He's from Australia. That's a pretty cool guy. So, but yeah, I love what you guys are doing. This is fantastic. It's at the forefront of this sort of scene, this sort of
Yep.
industry. It seems to be. So, kind of wrapping up here. I'm curious. So, Cliff and Kody, right? It's easy to remember. You guys are working together. Hey, just call Cliff and Kody. They'll take care of it. Why did you guys decide to go into business together? Why didn't you say, "Oh, I'm doing this on my own, man. This is a great idea. I'm doing it on my
Yeah.
own." Why go
I
together?
mean, I think we say it all the time, and so we actually have a third business partner. He's kind of a limited partner. He does kind of venture
Craig?
capital on the. What's that?
Cliff, Kody, and Craig? Or no?
We'll keep his name off the table for now because
No worries.
it's kind of a side gig for him, but good guy. But one of his favorite sayings is, "You got to have all the right athletes on the field."
Mm,
Right? So the Chicago Bulls didn't have 5 Michael Jordans, right? They had Jordan, they had Pippen, they had the right
yeah,
guys to bring varied skill sets to the table. And I said to you in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if you really need me to do this, man. You got all the construction knowledge, you can throw these
yeah,
things together. But he saw the skills I brought to the table, right? I knew
totally.
back to the analytical comment, when I put my own golf simulator in, I researched this industry
Mhm.
to no end. I know every aspect of every simulator, why one's better than another, right? So like we bring the skill sets that we need. And could I have done it on my own and hired subcontractors? Maybe.
Mm,
But Kody knows that world in and out. He's got a list of vetted subcontractors. His design mind is great, right? So could we have done it on our own? Probably. Would it have been as successful? I don't think a chance in the world, right? So
wow.
it's
And then when we had a conversation in your basement about it, and you were like, dude, can I anyway? I'm like, without a doubt, the
yeah,
first thing that came to mind was like, why don't we do it together? Like, there's just
Mm,
I saw Cliff's ability, his work ethic,
mm,
his mindset. I never even thought about doing it on my own. I was like, we just need to partner up and go to town. So
that's so
yeah,
cool.
it started out as a small, we're just kind of like, hey, some side money and a little side hustle, and maybe
Yeah.
it'll turn into something one day. And then January hit, and it was like full scale growth. Let's go.
yeah. He's a third partner as well, right? He brings a skill set to us that we don't have, and he's pushing us to think bigger. And
Yeah,
so it's just, I think teaming up with the right teammates is huge.
yeah, absolutely. When you have the right people that are work hard. Yeah, that makes such a huge difference, and you can really build the company that's going to be sustainable and it's going to grow, service customers the right way. Sounds like that's
Yep.
you guys are serious foundation right now for growth, and it's rapidly you're going at that as well, which is
Yep.
really exciting.
Oh yeah, we want to take over the United States for the
I,
awesome better world.
I love it. No, that's what I tell employees, like I want the world. That's what
Yeah.
I really want to do. It's just like we that drive. That's what I really value, and that'll take you far. Because even in the face of adversity, like no, we're gonna keep trying. Yeah, sure. That last 3 times, let's keep trying. So valuable. Yeah. I love it, guys. Well, thank you so much. This is forefrontsims.com. Would that be the best place for people to go?
Yeah,
That or
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, forefrontsims.com. On our Instagram, we've got some really good content talking about our projects, showing, we get a little more into like the details of what we do and talk on there. So, yeah, forefrontsims.com or our Instagram. I think it's Forefront Golf Sims. You'll find it up there.
Yeah, cool. And right now it's the general Atlanta, Georgia, and with thoughts to expand out pretty soon here.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia, but we've got a project coming up in Destin, Florida. We've done projects in
wow.
Nashville. So I'd say Southeast really.
You got something coming up in Alabama.
Alabama's coming up.
Oh,
So
wow.
the Southeast is a really comfortable area for us.
Cool.
So, and we have other models, hybrid models that we can cover other geographies, right? We can do sort of design consultation and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. So I'd say anybody that's interested, reach out, and we can see how we can help.
Awesome. Well, love it. Thank you guys for your time today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cliff and Kody, Forefront Simulator Solutions, forefrontsims.com. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
See ya.